Programming for problem solving, very important questions. PPS, it's based on C language. From unit 1, first question, explain compiling and executing a program. Second one, explain operators. Next one, third one, explain storage classes. Here with this, you see here, this is very important. This tick mark and underline questions are very important. All these are important questions. These underline questions are very important questions. Explain operators. You prepare all these questions. If you don't have time, you can prepare these tick mark questions. These are very important questions. Most probably compulsory questions. Everybody has to be prepared these tick mark and underline questions. Okay. Third one, explain storage classes. Next one, fourth one, explain control statements with programs. What are the control statements? Conditional statements and continue, break and go to. Conditional statements are if else, nested if, else if and switch statement. You have to prepare for these programs and theory also, and continue, break, go to. All these are control statements. Compulsory one question will be asked from these. Okay. Next, fifth question, explain loops or iterative statements or repetitive statements with programs, definition, syntax, example and program. For every loop, for loop, while loop, do while loop. And sometimes they may ask what's the difference between while loop and do while loop. Okay. Next, sixth question, explain formatted functions and unformatted functions. It's also important question. Okay. Next, you have to prepare programs of prime number, range of prime numbers, and to check either a given number is prime number or not. Next, Armstrong number program. These are the programs: prime number program, Armstrong number program, Fibonacci series, generation of Fibonacci numbers program. Next, to check either a given number is palindrome or not. These are the programs: prime number, Armstrong, Fibonacci number, palindrome. It's very important. Tick mark and underline. This underline and tick mark is a very important question. Next, from unit 2, explain arrays with program of product of two matrices, multiplication of two matrices program. Compulsory. Many times it's asked. Okay, what's the array? Definition and types of arrays, one dimensional, two dimensional and program. If you have time, you prepare sum of two matrices also, no problem, but compulsory product of two matrices. It's many times this question is asked. Next question, ninth question, explain string handling or manipulation functions, string functions. Okay. Next, 10th question, program of string palindrome program. Number palindrome, string palindrome. These two are very important programs. Next, explain self-referential structure with a program. Okay. Next, 12th question, explain nested or embedded structure, program and explanation. Next, 13th question, what is the enumeration data type? Okay. Next, 14th, explain pointers. Okay, you should be aware about a single program. Okay, dereference pointer, single pointer, double pointer, triple pointer. What is the address? What is the pointer? Okay, you should be aware about all these things. Next, here in the pointers, you should prepare call by value, call by reference also. Next, third unit. From third unit, explain preprocessor commands, conditional preprocessor commands, unconditional preprocessor commands. Very important question. Next, difference between text file and a binary file. It's a very important question. Tick mark and underline question. It's a very important. Next, program for write and read operations on a file. Next, 17th question, program for write and read operations on a file. Next, 18th question, explain mode of operations of a file. It's a very important question. Tick mark, underline. 19th question, explain file input output functions. Very important. File input output functions. General input output functions are there, file input output functions are there. It will start with F. Okay. Next, 20 question, very important question, program for merge two files into a third file. It's very important. Next, explain random access functions. fseek, ftell, rewind. These are the random access functions. Okay. Next, 22, program for command line arguments to copy the content from one file to another file. From source to destination we have to copy by using command line arguments. Okay. We pass the arguments at command prompt. That is the command line arguments. Next, from unit 4, difference between standard functions and user defined functions and explain about them. Sometimes they will ask, explain about standard functions. You should be aware about all standard functions. Next, categories of user defined functions. You should be aware about that. How can we write user defined functions, categories of functions? In detail you have to learn about these two, standard functions and user defined functions. Next, 24 question, difference between call by value and call by reference. Okay, you should be aware about difference and programs for these two, and theory also, definition also you have to write. Next, 25th question, program for GCD using recursion and non-recursion. Okay, it's also very important question, recursion concept and non-recursion procedure. Okay, in functions, it's a very important question. Next question, factorial of a number. Okay, using recursion and non-recursion. Factorial of a number for recursion and non-recursion. Program, it's a very important. Next, program for Fibonacci series generation using recursion and non-recursion. It's a very important. Tick mark. Next, tick mark, explain limitations of recursion. What are the advantages and disadvantages of recursion? It's a very important. Tick mark is there. Next, unit 5. Okay, here bubble chart. We should practice program, algorithm, example. Example means you have to explain with the procedure, with the elements, with the numbers. Stepwise you have to write. Next, selection chart also. You learn program, algorithm, example or procedure. Step by step, step 1, step 2, step 3, like that you have to write in the procedure or example. With elements or numbers, you have to explain. Next, for insertion chart also, very important. Program, algorithm, example for insertion. Linear search, program, algorithm, example or procedure. Binary search, program, algorithm, example or procedure. Next, time complexity and space complexity. It's also very important. Okay, you should practice all these. Okay, once again I will explain. You see here, these tick marks are very important questions. Operators you have to learn compulsory. Storage classes and conditional and control statements, loops, and these programs, prime number, Armstrong, Fibonacci, palindrome number. Next, here tick mark, string handling functions, string palindrome program, nested or embedded structure program with explanation. Next, preprocessor commands, unconditional and conditional preprocessor commands, difference between text file and binary file. Next, mode of operations of a file. What is the file and explain mode of operations, read, write, append. Okay, next, file input output functions. General input output functions are there, file input output functions are there. Okay, you should be aware about this. Carefully observe. File input output functions are input output functions. Okay, much difference is there in between these two. File input output and general input output. Okay, next merge two files into a third file. Okay, command line argument to program compulsory, it will be asked, okay, to copy from one file to another file. Okay, next call by value, call by reference program, GCD using recursion, non-recursion, factorial using recursion, non-recursion, Fibonacci using recursion and non-recursion. Next limitations of recursion, these are very very important. Next from 5th unit compulsory question, only you have to practice 6 questions: bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, linear search, binary search, time complexity and space complexity. Okay, here very very important, total 34. Out of 34, at least you have to prepare 23 questions are very very important. Many times these 23 questions are asked. Okay, once you carefully observe, tick mark and underline I gave. Okay, thank you for watching this video.